I recall that probably 1957-58 is when I started supporting them, and the reason for that is we played, I think it was New Brighton or West Brighton in the Cup, and we won 9-0, and a lad called Ian Lawson scored a hat-trick, and it must have whetted my appetite, this, because I suppose I was thinking as a 10-year-old that every time I came to a football match there'd be 9 goals, which is obviously rather wishful thinking. But from then on, I sort of remember, I don't remember much more about that season, but certainly the following season, I remember being at Everton on the 28th of December, I think it was, and there was 74,000 people on the ground. And as a youngster, I was passed over the crowd right to the front and placed over the wall at the side of the pitch, and there was no problem about finding my father after, or my mates. In those days it was the done thing. Obviously Burnley's capacity wasn't of that size, but I certainly remember being on Burnley in a replay against Sheffield United in an evening match when there were 54,000 people on, and again passed over the wall to sit at the side of the pitch. Moving on in time, I went to every single cup game in the year that Burnley reached the final against Tottenham, and of course at that time Tottenham and Burnley were probably the best 2 sides in the Football League, but sadly we were to lose 3-1, which was devastating, and I was rather upset. And the 2 games that do stand out is that I went to Sheffield United, and I hope I'm right here in saying, well, I'm pretty certain I know the result, but I hope it was that cup run. Burnley won 1-0, but we were totally outplayed, to be honest, but the game was actually stopped because the wall at the Sheffield United end behind the goal just fell over and people spilled onto the pitch. But apart from a few policemen and the odd first aider, everybody was sort of shoved back in and the game carried on, which again in today's modern era with health and safety, I mean, it would have been abandoned immediately, but it wasn't. And I also remember the goal scorer that day because Alex Elder, the full back, hit the ball with tremendous force, and the goalkeeper was Hodgkinson for Sheffield United, and he dived to his right, but Ray Pointer it hit his head more than anything and flew into the opposite corner. So I felt that Sheffield United were unjustly done by, to be honest, on that day. So they might not be liking us too much, particularly after the playoff final. Burnley were an outstanding side. I mean, they had a sojourn into Europe. Again, I remember those matches quite vividly because I used to stand then up at the Beole end on the terrace when we played Reims and Hamburg and the likes of those clubs. It was just a marvellous occasion, and one which, as a supporter, just stayed with me forever. And sadly, though, we were knocked out by Hamburg in Hamburg after winning here 3-1.